welcome to the Maine Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main, president of Maine Financial Group, as well as joined by Adam Freund, CRC at Maine Financial Group. To our viewers at home, there is something that's going to be happening soon called the Great Wealth Transfer. Do you know exactly what that is? Millions of dollars, trillions of dollars are going to be passed to generations to come, and you need to be ready for it. So today's show is all about the Great Wealth Transfer. Jordan, how are you today?
I am very excited. This is a unique topic today for a show.
It is.
But it's a very popular topic.
Yes.
How are you today?
A lot coming. I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Adam, how are you?
Well, I am
Expialidocious.
Now we're singing. Here we go.
It's the best
Good night,
way to start
everybody.
the day.
I just heard all the TV sets turn off in Metro Detroit.
Nope, they're turning it up. Well, today's show is so very important, but before we dive in, let's talk a little bit about maybe some advice or something that you inherited from grandparents, parents, what have you. Doesn't have to be financial, but something that sticks with you and you can't put a price tag on it. Priceless words of wisdom, advice, maybe a family heirloom. Adam?
Oh, you're starting with me?
Yes, I'm putting you right on the spot.
Well, first of all, I know I can't speak for Jordan. I know for myself the love of education, of teaching. Jordan's parents were also teachers. My dad was a teacher at one point. But I think the thing that I really, really appreciate over all of these years, besides him being a great father and teaching me how to be a great parent, is the sense of humor. And I think people out in the audience
You
probably
definitely got that rubbed off on you.
they kind of know that we call it the Freund sense of humor. So
Yeah.
that
I
would be
love
it.
that. Oh, I can't wait to meet your dad after hearing so much
We
about
have to have
him.
the Shermanator on as a special guest.
That would be
Think
great.
he would do that?
Yes, I would love that. Jordan?
Oh, I have a good one. This is a great one from my dad. So he said, we are all where we are in life based on a series of daily connected choices.
Ooh.
Every day you get up and make thousands of choices. Sleep in, get up early, exercise, not eat well, don't want to go to work. And all of those choices, like a chain, are connected, and it puts us where we are in life.
Most
It isn't
definitely.
anyone else's fault that you're here or there. And I've always remembered that, and it is so true, because all day long we have choices. And those choices, there's a culmination of those, and they put you where you are in life.
So I can blame
That's
it on my
fantastic.
coffee that I have in the morning.
That was your own choice.
That was my own choice. Oh, well, what am I going to do?
I don't know. Well, my parents, I love this because they instilled in me at a very young age the value of $1. And my parents always said, if you can't afford it, you don't buy it, you don't put it on plastic, you don't charge it, because they had no debt. Everything was paid for, and they just lived their lives that way. And it really instilled something in me to really appreciate everything that you work for, everything that you purchase on your own. It's invaluable. That advice has just carried with me my whole life.
You know, the funny thing is, what you're talking about right now really kind of leads into this wealth transfer, the great wealth transfer, because a lot of times we're finding that where people have been so frugal, they're afraid to spend the money in retirement.
That's true, too.
I got a hunch maybe she planned that out.
Yeah.
It's a perfect segue.
I know, right? And I didn't even read ahead, so that's amazing. So what are we talking about? Okay, wait. The Great Wealth Transfer. And when you think about it, why are people suddenly talking about it right now? Because we're hearing this a lot, but why right now specifically, Jordan?
Well, I mean, you think the baby boomers are the wealthiest generation and the largest numbers-wide generation ever, and they're all pretty much in retirement. When does a baby boomer, what's the youngest baby boomer?
The youngest is 1964.
Okay, so they might still be working.
That's only a year older than me.
Yeah.
So, and then you also have what they call the silent generation. So that's my dad's age. So you have the greatest generation, the silent generation, the baby boomers, and Generation X, which you and I actually share.
Right.
But that's the whole thing. The silent generation and the baby boomer generations created probably one of the most wealth.
Well, I think to answer your question is that the silent generation didn't have the type of wealth that the baby boomer generation had as a whole.
Yes.
So it really wasn't an issue, this wealth transfer thing, right?
Right.
I remember when my grandfather and grandma passed away, I mean, you had a house that went to my mom and her siblings, and a few some bank accounts and maybe a stock account.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of wealth to transfer from the people that went through the Great Depression, right?
Right.
And now you look at the baby boomers, corporate America that came up in the 70s and 80s and 90s. There are trillions of dollars of wealth that all these baby boomers have that is very quickly starting to go to the Generation X's and who's behind us?
Millenniums.
Millennials.
And isn't it
Millennials.
Z? Why
Millennial-
Z?
That's what it was prior. Yes, but they
Okay. I
but
can't keep
that's-
up with them anymore.
I wrote it down here. $80 to $100 trillion will be transferring over the next
Wow.
20 to 30 years. Now, that's not
Wow.
specifically dollars. I mean, the dollars account for a lot of that.
Okay.
But you're talking about real estate and corporations and things that are.
Well, look how common it is now for people to have rental units.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
say in
true.
Florida they have a second home and they rent it out. The Great Depression people did not have second homes that they rented out, or LLCs, or property management companies.
It's true.
All of those things have to now somehow get transitioned down to the kids or whoever the beneficiary is.
That's true. That's true. So when you think about it, is this transfer guaranteed, or could families end up with less to pass on than they expected? I'm very curious about that.
I think Uncle Sam is hiding in the weeds. Uncle Sam, is he over in the weeds somewhere?
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
He's slithering around in the weeds somewhere. And he wants to. Oh boy.
Mine, yours.
Oh, please tell me that wasn't. I don't think that was real.
No, it's not
It's
real.
not real. Okay,
Uncle Sam
good.
has the bigger half, by the way. I just want, yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's how
I
it
know, I
usually
saw it.
works. So when you look at it, this is probably one of the most overlooked sectors of people in financial planning and advisors around the country, right? They're so focused on their client and their accumulation, their income plan, all their distribution, all the things that they have. And they kind of forget about, well, what happens when these two clients are passed away? And that's this legacy, estate planning, transfer, wealth transfer that we're talking about today. So many people just, my kids will get what they get. And that's a okay position to take, but I would rather make sure that the IRS doesn't get what they need to take. Be smart, put some planning into place, and if you don't want your kids to get the money, then give it to a church, give it to a university. Don't give it to the darn IRS. Don't audit me, but Mr. IRS agent. So we look at it as it is so overlooked, and I know we digress from your question about is it guaranteed? It's not guaranteed, because if there isn't proper planning, oh my goodness, probate court can get involved. You've got fees and court costs. You've got taxable events with IRAs coming to kids and beneficiaries.
Yes.
You have, but there are tax loopholes to go through. There's step up in basis. There's IRA legacy plans. There's all kinds of things that you can do to avoid all of that if you just take a few uncomfortable, painful meetings to talk about your demise.
Yes, yes, because planning is the key for everything, especially when you're talking about generations to come with taxes that could come up. Jordan, we're going to take a very short commercial break, but you have a message to the viewers at home. Please share that with Adam's help, of course.
Absolutely. We offer 2 free items if you come in for 2 meetings out of your life. The first one is get your own personalized written financial plan. We call it our RIPT report, RIPT. The R is a risk assessment. How fast or slow are you driving your portfolio, and is that at your comfort level? The I is an income plan. Is it a guess or is it an actual plan? What if you screw up and live too long? The P is a health of your portfolio. Let's put that portfolio on the treadmill on a stress test, hook up all the things to it. And then the T, what we just talked about, is taxes. Is Uncle Sam in there, and upon your demise or your passing, is he going to take a bunch of your money? We can help put a plan together to avoid a lot of that. We're also going to throw in a copy of my new book, The Main Street Millionaire, How Real People Build Real Wealth and Keep It. It's a great financial planning guide. It's just under 300 pages, but there's a lot of good information in there. So call the number or click the code.
Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call is 888-462-7839. You're calling in to book your consultation with Adam and Jordan, completely complimentary, and you're going to have a RIPT report designed just for you. specifically for your needs, not customized or not not cookie cutter is what I'm trying to say. I knew it was going to come out. Also, a copy of the brand new book, The Main Street Millionaire. Again, 888-462-7839 is the number to call in, or you can grab your smartphone and click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That's the fast track to get on the schedule of Main Financial Group. We'll be right back momentarily. We're talking about the great wealth transfer. Stay tuned.
I was an accountant by trade out of school, out of Michigan State, and I absolutely hated brokers, financial advisors, whatever they wanted to call themselves. I was a tax accountant, and we would share a mutual client. And this broker would advise our mutual client to buy, sell, and never do any tax strategy, and I was left to clean up the mess. So I went to the client and said, please talk to your broker and tell him to knock this off or begin to do some strategy. And the typical broker response was, I'm not licensed to do that. I can't talk about taxes. So I basically decided to get my investment securities license and all my other licenses out of spite so that we could do all the tax planning as part of the investment strategy for our clients. The value of choice, as we always say, you know, if you go to a big box firm, they're going to have one of 6 portfolios, let's say, and you're going to fit into one of those. The value of working with an independent advisor, especially a fiduciary like we are, is that they have to do what's in your best interest, and they can use any program that's licensed out there in America, so a huge difference. After 20 plus years on this side of the fence, I think our industry does a poor job at explaining to the public the difference of those two. I come from a culture of helping people and educating them, not just telling them what to do. So I think people that truly want to educate make a big difference in this industry.
Welcome back to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main and Adam Freund of Main Financial Group. And we're talking all about the great wealth transfer and how you can be prepared, whether you're passing something on to your loved ones or maybe to a charity. This show is just for you. Adam, I want to ask you a question. What should retirees be thinking about specifically if they want to leave something behind?
It's a great question. I think the first thing that I would say to them is, how do you want to be remembered, right? What do you want your money to say about you? If you're fortunate enough to be able to pass on money to the next generation, what is that going to look like? And since we're talking about the great wealth transfer in this whole idea, is one of the things is you don't want to pass on your tax bill to your kids. And Jordan and I have been really pushing this a lot lately on all of our episodes, that if you can go to the maintaxbill.com, you can actually fill out a form, very easy to do, put in how much your IRA is worth. So let's just say it's $1 million. Put in your age, put in the tax bracket you think you're going to be in or you are in now. So we usually, I think we have it set at 25, but you can make the tax bracket whatever you want, and then put in a return of the money. And then how much will it grow? 5%, 6%, whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay.
If you do that, you're going to get a report that's going to be mailed to you, and it's going to show you the difference between keeping it as an IRA and giving it to your kids, the taxes that are going to be involved in that,
Wow.
or converting it now to a Roth and how much you're going to save. And I can't remember the exact numbers, but for a 60-year-old, we did $1 million. Do you remember what, approximately, I think it was $1.2 million in taxes?
The savings versus converting to a Roth was almost $1 million.
Yeah.
When we ran the numbers, right?
I mean, that's just incredible.
And I think, as expanding on what Adam said, the worst thing you can do financially to your kids is give them your retirement. It's it's a tax bomb. I know Adam has this little cute bomb here.
There it is.
But it really is, because they pay ordinary income on all of your retirement dollars. So Roth IRAs are great strategies. You know, we use this analogy. I know it's a dark analogy, but it's about throwing your daughter a wedding and daddy-daughter dance, and she says, "Daddy, it was just the best night ever. Thank you so much." And you say, "Well, here you go. Here's the bill that goes with it." That's what you do when you give your retirement account to your kids. Right. You give them a tax bill that comes with it that is going to kind of jack up their tax bracket for their other income. So we've got some great strategies, especially one we call our IRA legacy plan.
Okay.
If you don't need some or part of your IRA carve it out and put it into a different strategy that's tax-free for your beneficiaries. We did this, an example. I like to tell personal stories on this show.
Absolutely.
My dad passed away in 2012. He was a school teacher, and they have these things called 403Bs. They're like 401Ks. And Mom, who was also a retired teacher, has a pension from the state of Michigan, says, well, I don't need Dad's retirement account. I'm getting my pension, Social Security, I'm getting some of Dad's pension. We're just going to give, or I'm just going to give this retirement account to you and your sister and your brother. And I said, no, you're not, Mom. There's about $500,000 in there, and divide that by 3. That's what, about 160,000, almost just under 170,000 a person. But it would all be taxable to us.
Wow.
So we're not going to do this, Mom. We're going to keep it in your name, but we're going to transition it into an IRA legacy program, which is essentially a life insurance trust where the IRA buys the insurance for the trust. So we were able to get on Mom, what was it, about $3 million of death benefit.
Right.
So when Mom does pass away, she's doing great, and we hope she lives another 20 years.
Knock on wood.
$3 million divided by 3 kids, not great at math, but that's $1 million a kid.
How's that taxed?
Free.
Oh.
So instead of getting 165,000 taxable, netting just over 100, all of us kids now are going to get $1 million each on that one unit of money. So for all of you out there that don't need all of your retirement account, you can carve off the chunk that you're going to give to your kids. Don't give that to your kids. Put it in an IRA legacy plan.
Yep.
Your mom has to be so proud of you.
Well, I hope so.
She is. I mean, I'm just listening to this story. I just love that. Thank you for sharing that. I love when you share personal
I know
stories.
my mom's very proud of him.
Oh, thank
Oh, see? Well, let's flip this a little bit. The heirs that are receiving money, if you will, what should they be thinking about right now, Adam, with this great wealth transfer?
Well, that's great. Well, first of all, again, we look at the tax situation here, right? So there are rules in place now. It used to be that if you inherited a beneficial IRA, an IRA from your parents, let's just say, you used to be able to stretch that over your lifetime. The IRS would consider your lifetime. They use some sort of actuary table and figure out that you're going to only live to 84 or something to that effect. So you could spread it out over your lifetime. But now they've changed that rule, and you have to take it out within 10 years. And if not, I think you would suffer a pretty hefty penalty.
Very, very hefty.
Very
Yeah,
hefty.
and that's all ordinary income tax to the recipient. So the giver, if you will, the baby boomer we're talking about, has to think about taxes.
Right.
And the receiver, the Generation
Yes.
X or millennial, has to think about taxes. The other thing along the same tax line, I mean, in real estate, Cynthia, you can think about this. The day someone passes away or the estate is passed away, that is now the cost basis on that real estate, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it might take 2 years or 3 years to liquidate that property. And there's going to be gain in between that. A lot of people forget about that.
That's
They're
true.
like, we'll close out Mom and Dad's estate later. Well, that estate needs to pay taxes along the way. And now we
Absolutely.
might have a capital gain generated. So you have step up in basis in certain areas, but if you take too long to get that estate kind of flushed out, you might be triggering more taxes. So we hate to focus on taxes, but Uncle Sam has got you on both sides, meaning the giver and the receiver.
Right.
He really does. And before we take the next commercial break, there are probably some mistakes that you're seeing happen quite often if people aren't prepared for it. But they can actually avoid those mistakes by getting the RIPT report, right?
Oh, what a segue that was. Yeah. So, our offer today is to come in and get your free customized written financial plan, your RIP report. And as Cynthia said, the T in that RIP report is all about taxes. We've got great software to help you with Roth IRA conversions, great software for IRA legacy planning. And on top of the tax side, you're going to get a risk assessment, a guaranteed income plan, a written income plan for your retirement, and a snapshot of the health of your portfolio. Also throw in a copy of our new book, which talks a lot about what we're talking about today.
Yes.
I think I have 2 chapters in here all about legacy planning and transferring assets down. So call the number, click the QR code.
Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is 888-462-7839, 888-462-7839. We realize you're quite busy, so we've made it even simpler. You can just grab your smartphone and click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That is the fast track to get on the schedule at Main Financial Group. We realize a lot of this information is probably brand new to you today, and you would love to have that complimentary consultation. Again, this report is customized with your specific needs in mind. Number 888 is 462-7839. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
According to a recent Transamerica retirement survey, over 1/3 of American workers have already dipped into their retirement savings to handle day-to-day expenses, and nearly 40% have reduced their contributions.
For those approaching retirement with significant assets, this may sound like someone else's problem, but it's a warning worth noting. Economic pressure doesn't discriminate. High net worth individuals are just as vulnerable to reacting emotionally during times of financial stress.
The key is discipline and a plan that involves with changing circumstances. Having a tax-aware, income-focused, and flexible strategy in place can help you avoid short-term mistakes that impact your long-term goals.
Because real success in retirement isn't just about what you've saved, it's how you protect and use it.
Welcome back to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main and Adam Freund of Main Financial Group. We're talking all about the great wealth transfer. If you're just joining us for this segment, trillions of dollars will be passed on to a lot of people throughout the years. And how do you be prepared for that? Thank you for being with us today. Adam and Jordan, I do want to go back into that question that I asked before we were taking the commercial break. Some of the biggest mistakes that people are making right now when we're talking about generational wealth transfers, what would some of those be?
Well, I think the first thing is, we'll deal with it later. Nobody ever wants to talk about it. And they basically have no plan. And we know it's an uncomfortable conversation to have, whether it's with your parents or with your children. But having a plan in place makes sure that things go smoothly. You want to avoid probate. We're not attorneys, but we certainly believe in trusts. Things that have named beneficiaries. So having a plan in place to make sure that your wishes are being taken care of, or that your children are also having that conversation with their old elderly parents. I know that I've had to have conversations in my own family with the Shermanator and Petey. That's her name.
Oh, Petey.
That's a nickname.
I love that.
Well, thank you. But I mean, the odds, the honest to God's truth is they're both in their mid-80s, and we don't know how much more time we have with them. We want to make sure that whatever that is that they want to give to us, that they're giving it to us in a manner that will go smoothly
and
efficiently. Absolutely. Efficiency is probably the most important thing there.
I've got two answers to your question. Your question was the common mistakes that we see. I think one big one is that clients are not preparing for end-of-life long-term care expenses that can totally destroy your portfolio. And a lot of times, the people aren't even in a frame of mind where they can remember that last year, right? The average stay is 2.8 years in a long-term care facility. In Michigan here, it's about $150,000 a person. Times two, if you are both in a facility, that's $300,000. 2.8 years, I'm not great at math, but I think that's $800,000. That could completely ruin an inheritance.
Yeah.
So plan for long-term care. The other one is more of an annoying thing that I see people do. I'm just going to go to the bank account and I'm going to add my daughter to their bank account. Does everyone understand what gifting laws are? Okay, so if I have a $250,000 bank account and I'm going to put my son Adam on it, the minute I did that, he owns 50% of that bank account. I just gave him a $125,000 gift.
Wow.
That is, if not recorded, I'm the one, the gifter, has to pay a penalty.
A penalty.
Yeah, an excise tax on it.
That's right.
Wow.
So, but that is the most common thing people do. As someone gets older, we put a kid on the bank account.
Yeah.
And then you don't disclose it or record it with the IRS. Because think about it conceptually, Cynthia. The minute you're on your mom or dad's bank account, you own half that bank account. that is a gift that you just got. And what are the gifting limitations? 19, 20,000, somewhere in there?
I think
Yeah,
so.
per
somewhere
year.
there.
Yeah, per year.
Yeah.
So that's a huge one that people, a common mistake that happens all the time. Now the IRS is so swamped and behind, they don't really catch those things. But if they do get caught up, and I heard that now we might be having AI and robots
Yes.
in the IRS
Yeah.
agency, which is a bit scary
That is
because they're not going to miss things. And,
Wow.
that's a little thing to make sure. So plan for long-term care and make sure that you just don't do the add kids on the bank account routine.
So, but that brings up a great question, because I know that we get asked this all the time. Okay, my mother isn't necessarily in her right mind, and she's writing checks to everybody, and I want to be able to help control that. So don't add yourself to the checking account. You want a POA, a power of attorney.
Right.
Yes.
You could add yourself to the checking account, but then you have to file a form with the IRS, and that gift comes off of the
Yes.
the exemption allowance in the estate plan.
Yeah.
So just one form, you're out of the
Right.
the woods, and you're fine. But if you don't do that form, now the IRS is in the weeds, as we talked
And
about.
keep in
looking-
mind, though, power of attorney ends as soon as the person passes away. So even if you
Wow.
have a power of attorney at the bank on a checking account, as soon as that person passes away, that power of attorney is dissolved. So that ends up leading to another issue. How do you get at the money? So there's a lot of things that go into this. We're not
Right.
just
Well, and that's why you can go
listening to-
around and you can make that bank account a trust account. You
Yeah.
can have a trust for mom and dad, and the bank account's a trust, and now the
you got-
beneficiary can be the trustee, and now they have access to that trust account to pay bills and do things,
Yep.
and they haven't violated any estate laws. Very simple fixes, but very common mistakes.
But you have to talk about it.
Yes, you have to have a plan. So, what can people do to transfer wealth effectively and intelligently? I know we only have a couple minutes left, but there has to be some bright light there.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's having a coordinated portfolio that is with your estate plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about a junk drawer you might have at home. You open it up and you've got all kinds of different things. A lot of people have that. We have an account over here, a bank account here, retirement account there. There's got to be a plan that's coordinated towards the same mission. Right. And it has to be part of long-term care and estate planning as well. And if it's done properly, you can avoid 90% of the issues, maybe even 99% of the issues. It just takes a few painful meetings to talk through about when you're going to pass away and what you want to have happen with all of your money. As Adam said to open this show, what story do you want your money to tell?
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, beautiful statement. Well, Jordan, again, only a minute left of this show this week. Let's talk a little bit about your final message to the viewers at home.
Yeah, I think it was a great show today. Adam's hiding. Maybe he doesn't think so. But
No, it was.
yeah, we would love to see you. We've got 5 offices around Metro Detroit. We also are on the radio every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on station AM 910. We talk a lot about some of these issues we covered today. We'd love to see you for 2 meetings. Come in, get your free personalized written financial plan. The RIP report, we call it. R is a risk assessment. Make sure that the risk is in line with what you want. An income plan, a portfolio health, and a tax plan. We'll also throw in a copy of our book, and we'll make sure that estate plan is up to snuff.
There you
Jordan,
go.
thank you. Adam, thank you. To our viewers at home, the number to call is 888-462-7839. But even simpler, grab your smartphone and click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That is the way to get on the fast track of Main Financial Group. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We look forward to seeing you back 1 week from today. Take care now. See you soon.